Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Raghee, what about the British pound?
Sure. So if I want to take a look at the pound, let's head on over to take a look at that cable here.
To do either GBP, if you wanted to look at it. It's not going to have a lot of data, but that's the way everybody looks at it in the spot market, right? Or you can look at BPX. Oh, is this the spot?
Yeah, so here's the spot.
That's perfect.
The first thing I want to do is assess what my market cycle is, and this one's probably arguably distribution as well. Notice that we're no longer heading in this downward angle market. It's not at least steep enough, 12 to 2, to say it's an uptrend. I'd say this is probably looking at distribution, so a lot of sideways volatility. So as Steve just said, we could either look at the BPX, which remember is the U.S. dollar British pound, so it's going to be inverse. But notice the market cycle is the same here. I'm looking at a distribution coming out of an uptrend versus distribution coming out of that downtrend. So I'm looking at a range-bound market. If I want to take a look at the, okay, there's some data there. So GBP, this looks more like my spot chart. So I'll tell you, right now, I probably don't have a big strategy for the cable right now, and mainly because I love trading options. Like right now, I'm digging trading options based upon the volatility in the Dow and the way that the dollar-yen has been moving. So the Dow dollar-yen has been a great one for options. I love trading options when prices are trading near historical levels or one-year highs and lows or after significant rallies or declines, the way we're seeing on the dollar Canada and on the Aussie US dollar. So those COMDOLs have been really a lot of fun to be trading. Another one is the Euro US dollar. So right now, if you take a look at the cable, it's still trying to find its footing. I can't say that right now I have a strategy for this particular pair. One of the things I was doing, and if you guys look at the, say, the EUI, which don't forget, it's going to be inverse from the spot. It's going to be the US dollar euro. So if you're used to seeing the fiber, the euro US dollar downtrend, on the EUI, it's going to be an uptrend. Okay, but this is another one that I've been watching. My husband has been, because of course he wants to pick a top here. But we really haven't found a ceiling that's been holding. So he just continues to watch, and he's actually hoping this thing's going to creep up near. Let me slide some more data in here. He's actually hoping this thing will creep up just over 77, where we've seen exhaustion before. That's actually where he's hoping to see that. So this particular move is going to be very reliant on that dollar strength that Steve was mentioning early on when we first started our presentation, the kind of rallies we've been seeing in the U.S. dollar. Could we exhaust on the euro U.S. dollar if we cannot find ourselves finding some support, some buying support above 82? Yeah, at any given moment, this U.S. dollar could say, okay, we've rallied enough. The equities market is strong. How much more flight to quality are we going to see? I think, by the way, we're going to continue to see this weird action where the Dow is able to rally, the dollar is able to rally, which has not been the case. These usually have been inversely correlated markets. But we're going to see it as long as that problem's occurring as long as there's problems in Europe. So I think that's
Raghee, what you're thinking is that international investors are going to want to invest in the U.S. markets. That would actually force the S&P and all the other markets up, and also force the dollar up, right? I mean, that's really what you're talking about.
That's what I'm thinking, because up until that meltdown abroad, till that meltdown, the first started with Greece, and then as soon as that started, we really started seeing the correlation of the dollar and the Dow able to rally together.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So.
And that's a change, right? It started in maybe, November or December, that the dollar and the markets were The U.S. markets are sort of moving lockstep?
Well, here is an overlay, and I can go ahead and do what I'll do is I'll put the Dow, this is the YM contract, here's the Dow in black and white, and the dollar in my graph. Notice back here, even in late 2009, even in late 2008 and early 2009, so it's inverse, everybody, and then all of a sudden, even in August, September of last year, it's still a little bit inverse, but all of a sudden, we started seeing more and more the dollar put in that bottom in December, and we've been able to rally continuously in the Dow since last March. So they haven't been trading together that long, but the Dow's been recovering for a year now, better than a year. You can see that in the black candles. Look at this move higher. The Dow's been recovering, and probably about the last half to third of the recovery, the dollar's been following right along, and I just feel that a lot of that has to do with, like you said, Steve, the European issue. So until that begins to find some sort of resolution, I think we're going to continue to do this. Does anyone else have any questions? Any other pairs you'd like me to look at or anything like that? I'm game. So, question about the email address? Sure. The email address, I believe I can shoot it out to y'all. Bear with me a moment here. Is Raghee, my first name, R-A-G-H-E-E, Horner, H-O-R-N-E-R, and then the word blog, all one word, at gmail.com. And my blog, where I'm going to post that image I mentioned, is that basically my first name, last name, RagheeHorner.com. So it's the best two ways to keep in touch. And actually, I have a blog that talks a little bit about my dollar-yen strategy from today over at the Daily Trading Edge. And you can check that out at ibfx.com. And just click on, you'll see those right on the home page. It says Daily Trading Edge. You can check that out there. Okay, I think as far as the question about the pound yen, I don't really trade the pound yen long term, so it probably doesn't apply to our topic here today. I actually trade that very, very short term, if at all, to be quite frank.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.